Amazon's Rings of Power trailers, released images, and articles have been analyzed and reacted to from every possible angle. As a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm here for it. But I've been wondering how I could make my own contribution to the critique without just regurgitating everything that has already been said. So here's my approach. Breaking down the costumes. Here's how I envisioned this series. In each video, I analyze a character costume from the Rings of Power, and I point out what I like or dislike about it, why, and lastly, I give my personal suggestions for improvement by providing photos and my own character costume redesign sketch. I might make more of these videos if this one goes well. Let me know if you like this format. But now, let's start with the costume and character design that bothers me the most. Disa. Good God, this costume is just so uninspired. I don't know about you, but when I think Dwarven princess from Tolkien's universe, I don't think this grey, Roman-looking bedsheet nightgown. Not at all. Dwarves in Tolkien's universe are masters of stone. They are miners and craftsmen, and their clothes kind of reflect that. Flowy and thin fabrics were never associated with them. They're dressed more practically, functionally, and with a lot of intricate metal belts, helmet accessories, all incorporated into their clothing. For consistency, some of that should reflect in women's clothes too, especially when we consider that...
It's true you don't see many dwarf women. And in fact, they are so alike in voice and appearance that they're often mistaken for dwarf men.
Okay, now let's go step by step and break down what Amazon envisioned for Disa. First of all, I don't get the contacts. They don't really do anything but make her look mildly creepy. I just don't see why that was necessary. Is it supposed to make her look more ethereal, or, not just like an ordinary human? Maybe it will translate better on screen, but in stills, it just doesn't look good at all. Next, the dress. Oh, where do I start? Again, so dwarves live in mines.
A mine!
And as I mentioned before, based on how the male dwarves dress, we can presume that it's fairly cold and damp in Erebor. If we look at Gimli from Lord of the Rings or Thorin and his company, we get a pretty good idea of a practical dwarven outfit. Battle-ready, but also putting that amazing craftsmanship on display. Now back to Disa. I'm only seeing this now on close inspection, but is this a leg slit? Because why? I know it's fiction, not actual history, so they're taking a few liberties here, but this just seems so out of place. Next, the gold jewelry she's wearing, it looks cheap. I don't know if it's bad Photoshop, but the necklace looks almost painted on. The bracelets are kind of fine, I guess, but not really that interesting. The triangles, I like that they're geometric, but they just don't seem to work with the outfit as a whole. And the gold dust on her fingers. And the dust on her head. We don't talk about this gold dandruff. This is just sad. Now, let's try to improve how they could style Disa's outfit to make it look better. I get the need to sort of meet Tolkien halfway when you're portraying dwarf women. We still want them to look sort of feminine, okay, I say fine to that. Then why not do what they did in The Hobbit? This short clip featuring dwarven women looks pretty good to me. They have beards, but they still look feminine. They have elaborate hairstyles like their male counterparts, and their dresses look nice. Like at least some more thought went into designing them than whatever they put Disa into. Also, I've always been a fan of this concept art. It respects the lore and it looks fitting for Tolkien's universe. Their hair looks so cool with the braids and beads and jewelry woven into the hair. It's pretty nice. Why then is Disa's hair, a dwarf princess's hair, so uninspired? It looks bland, and I see the braids, but there's really nothing going on. Nothing interesting whatsoever. And in some other clips from the trailers, we even see her with her hair completely down, and some other dwarf women as well. This just doesn't look dwarven to me at all. So let's start with the hair then. My inspiration was basically looking back to the concept art from The Hobbit, but also thinking what would match the styles of the male dwarves we've seen portrayed on screen so far. Braids, beads, golden chains, hair accessories. Think a bit outside the box. Think Viking braids and hairstyles. They could have designed some cool metal beads for her, just like they did for Thorin, Fili, and the rest in The Hobbit. You could let your imagination run wild, but instead you sprinkle gold dandruff on her hair. Next, the dress. My first thought was something medieval, maybe even Tudor-inspired. Wealth should be represented in the fabrics, but it should also suit the environment she's in and match what male dwarves wear. Think something like Starks from the Game of Thrones, or Vikings. Not exactly like it, but similar in cut and practicality. Simple cuts, but rich and expansive fabrics, not flowy and unstructured, but fitting and shapely, with layers, maybe even some gold brocades, most certainly enhanced with gold accessories that show the wealth and splendor that a dwarven princess would have access to. Like I said, I love the geometric designs that they came up with for the dwarves in The Hobbit, so definitely in that direction. I think gemstones should definitely be incorporated into her design. Match it with the dresses she'll be wearing, and the dresses I imagine in natural fabrics, but also in gem colors. Rich reds, sapphires, greens, definitely heavily adorned with brooches and gold accessories of all sorts. I'm totally on board with gold jewelry, but make it less cheap looking. Chunky gold bracelets and necklaces, precious stones, perhaps not as polished and dainty as the jewelry that elves wear, but rather statement pieces for a dwarven princess. Celtic, Byzantine, or Etruscan looking. Gold woven into the hair, the beard, into her braids, bold looking pieces, not a sprinkle of pixie dust on top of her head. Maybe something like this. So what do you think? How would you redesign Disa's outfit, or do you like it the way it is? Would you like to see a breakdown and redesigning of another character's costume from the Rings of Power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!